Okay, good day. You ever stand at the table, rule book open, opponent staring at you, and your brain just goes, uh, wait, what was I doing again? Yeah, let's fix that. Or how about this? You're staring at your paint rack for like 10 minutes, trying to choose between two identical reds like it's a hostage negotiation. That's analysis paralysis and decision fatigue, bud. And they're wrecking more games and paint sessions than bad dice ever could, eh? So hit the like, subscribe, and let's clear the mental clutter. Beauty! Welcome back to C7 Hobbies, where we level up the mental side of wargaming and miniature painting, not just the technical stuff, bud. This episode lives in playing the long game, the playlist about emotional regulation, strategic growth, and building confidence that lasts longer than hot dice streak, eh? So today we're tackling two sneaky killers of momentum. Analysis paralysis and rules when your brain freezes mid-game, bud, and decision fatigue at the paint rack when choosing colors drains your soul, eh? Different settings, same mental trap, bud. So let's break it down, eh? What's analysis paralysis? All right, let's define this properly. Analysis paralysis happens when you overthink so many options that you struggle to choose any of them. In tabletop terms, that looks like double checking every stratagem, even the ones you know by heart, remeasuring the same move 3 times. It's 6 inches. It was 6 inches 5 seconds ago, and it's still 6 inches now, eh? Replaying outcomes in your head. If I move here, they shoot me, but if I move there, they charge me. But if I, trying to calculate every possible counter move while your opponent ages visibly across the table, bud? No, I'm not going to invent Warhammer specific data here, but decision science research does support that too many options increases stress and reduces satisfaction with decision. When the stakes feel high, even in a game, your brain wants certainty, eh? But wargaming doesn't offer certainty. It offers probability, bud. And probability is uncomfortable, eh? Your brain hates it. It wants to know what happens, not guess. So it keeps calculating, keeps running scenarios, keeps searching for that one perfect move that guarantees success, eh? But that doesn't happen, and that doesn't exist. And the longer you search for it, the more frozen you become, bud. Why it feels so intense? Here's what's really happening when you freeze mid-game, eh? It's usually not about the move. It's about fear. Fear of looking incompetent. They'll think I'm bad at this, eh? Or making the wrong call. I'll kick myself for this later. Or regret. This is the move that loses me the game. That's ego protection, not strategy, eh? Your brain's trying to protect you from embarrassment, from feeling stupid, and from judgment, eh? So here's the cruel irony, beauty. The more you try to eliminate all risk, the slower you become. And slow play, well, that also makes you look bad, eh? So you're protecting your ego by making yourself look worse. Brain logic, buddy. At some point, your opponent isn't waiting on your tactical genius, eh? They're waiting on you to just pick up the dice, bud. They've checked their phone twice. They've made eye contact with other tables. They're wondering if you've entered a coma. The cost of overthinking. All right, let's talk about what overanalysis actually does to you. Burns mental energy, eh? Every extra calculation, that's brain fuel you're spending. And you've only got so much. It increases self-doubt. The longer you think, the more options appear. And suddenly, move forward 6 inches becomes, what if, what if, what if? Oh. Slows down tempo, eh? You lose momentum. Your opponent gains thinking time. You're giving them the advantage by hesitating, eh? It reduces enjoyment. Games stop being fun when every decision feels like a defusing a bomb, bud. And here's the ironic part, eh? It often doesn't improve outcomes significantly. Why? Because dice introduce randomness anyways. You can't calculate the perfect move, eh? You can run every scenario, bud, but you can triple check your math. And then you roll a 1. Strategic thinking is good, eh? Catastrophic forecasting is not. There's a difference between thinking ahead and imagining 7 nightmare scenarios that probably won't happen. If you spend 5 minutes calculating whether to move your troops 4 inches or 6 inches, eh? It's not strategy anymore. It's therapy, bud. And your opponent's not qualified to be a therapist, eh? Decision fatigue at the paint rack. All right, now let's move to the hobby desk, bud. Decision fatigue refers to mental drain that happens after making many choices, eh? It's a well-researched concept in psychology. I won't exaggerate its impact or claim exact depletion rates, bud, but what we do know is that repeated decision-making reduces mental energy over time, eh? So, you're at the paint rack. This looks beauty. Which primer, bud? Which base color, eh? Should I try a new technique? What if I ruin it? Is this red better than that red? Should I batch paint or focus on one model? Do I need to watch another tutorial first? By the time you actually decide, eh? You're already tired. And then you blame yourself for lacking motivation. But here's actually what happened, eh? You didn't lack motivation. You just made 47 micro decisions before even opening the paint pot, bud. Your brain's exhausted before you even start painting, eh? And then you wonder why you don't feel like continuing. You didn't lack motivation, bud. It's just made 47 micro decisions before opening the paint pot, eh? That's like running a mental marathon before you actually race. And then being confused why you're tired in the starting line, bud. The 3-layer decision filter. When you're stuck mid-game or mid-painting, run through these 3 layers, bud. Layer 1, good enough. First question is this move or color reasonably solid? Not perfect, not optimal, just reasonably solid, eh? If the answer is yes, proceed. Don't keep searching for better. Good enough is good enough, eh? Perfectionism is the enemy of progress, eh? And in a dice game, good enough often wins just as much as perfect. Plus, perfect usually involves you spending 10 minutes deciding while your opponent goes to get snacks, bud. That's not tactics, eh? That's just rude. Layer 2, time bound. Second layer, bud. Give yourself a limit, eh? 30 seconds in game. 2 minutes at the paint rack. Set a timer if you have to. Constraints reduce cognitive overload. When you have infinite time, your brain will use infinite time, bud. And spiral forever, eh? But when you have 30 seconds, your brain goes, okay, we gotta move. And suddenly, decisions get easier, bud. It's called Parkinson's Law, eh? Work expands to fill the time available. So, shrink the time, bud. Force the decision, eh? It's like when you're packing for a trip. If you have a week, you'll agonize over every sock, bud. If you have 10 minutes, you just throw stuff in and go, eh? Both suitcases work fine. Beauty. One just doesn't require heavy therapy, eh? Layer 3. Long game perspective. Third layer, okay? Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, bud? In a month? Or what about in a year? Most hobby decisions, they don't carry permanent consequences, bud. You pick the wrong red, you can repaint it later, eh? Not a big deal. You make the wrong move in game, you learn from it. Next game, you're smarter, eh? That's perspective, reduces pressure. When you zoom out, most decisions are not that serious, eh? Unless you're painting a commission for money. In which case, yeah, maybe stress a little, bud. But for your models, relax. Nobody's grading this, bud. Emotional regulation in real time. Here's what we do when you feel the freeze coming, eh? Step 1, breathe slowly once or twice. Not meditate for 10 minutes, bud. Just 2 slow breaths, eh? Inhale, exhale, reset. Beauty. Step 2. Narrow your focus to 2 options max, bud. Not 17, eh? Not all possible scenarios. Just 2. Option A or option B, eh? That's it. Step 3. Choose intentionally, bud. Don't just pick randomly, eh? Make a choice. Own it. Step 4. Commit fully, eh? No second guessing after. You made the call, bud. Now execute it, eh? Confidence isn't perfect decisions. It's decisive ones, bud. Even competitive players improve by reviewing mistakes later, eh? Not by eliminating them entirely. Growth mindset research supports that learning from outcomes beats obsessing over avoiding them, bud. You're allowed to make mistakes, eh? That's how you get better. You can't improve from a move you never made. The best chess players in the world, they've lost thousands of games, eh? They just learn from them. They didn't freeze and never play again, bud. Practical reset plan. Here is your action plan to fight paralysis and fatigue. Before a game, eh? Pre-select 2, maybe 3 go-to strategies. Don't figure it out at the table, bud. Have a plan before you sit down, eh? Before you paint a session, pre-select a limited paint palette, bud. Pick 5, maybe 7 colors, max. Put the rest away. Out of sight, out of decision, bud. The key? Reduce choices in advance. High performers in many fields simplify systems to preserve mental energy, bud. Athletes eat the same breakfast, eh? Artists use limited palettes. CEOs wear the same outfit every day, bud. You don't need more options, eh? You need fewer, clearer ones. Decision making is a resource, bud. Don't waste it on stuff that doesn't matter. Save it for the decisions that do matter. All right, if this episode helped you feel less frozen and more focused, do me a favor. Hit the like, eh? Subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with someone who's ever stared at a rulebook like it personally offended them, bud. So until then, remember, limit your options, bud. Trust your training, and progress comes from decisions made, not perfect ones imagined. Now go forth, be awesome, and paint for the paint gods.